Hello everybody, I'm Dr. Navi Narendranath, your ophthalmologist, and as part of the lockdown series, I welcome you all to today's episode. Today we are going to talk about another common problem which a lot of people talk about, and that is boils around the eyes. So many people have boils just around the eyes, especially the upper eyelid, and sometimes it is painful, sometimes it is painless, and they want to know what can be done about it. Some people put turmeric over it, some people keep something cold over it, some people keep something warm over it. They call it sudukatti or attribute it to heat and things like that. But let me break down some of those myths. Basically, our eyelids are actually a specialized structure. It's not like any other part of the skin. It has got a lot of specialized glands. Okay, so we have a lot of technical names, meibomian glands, Zeiss glands. There's so many glands, lacrimal gland. There's so many glands which are responsible for secreting your tears, the mucus part of the tears, the lipid part of the tears, or the fat portion of the tears, and the watery portion of the tears. You see, so the tears, which we just happily say tears, actually is a mixture of these three, and the aqueous portion or the watery portion, the fat portion and the mucus portion, they all need to be in the right proportion to have a good quality tears. And even if one is slightly out of proportion, it leads to problems. So all these glands are responsible for secreting some form of this one for the tears, and very often these glands, as most glands do, they have very small openings. So especially the glands which secrete an oily substance, these glands can get blocked a lot more frequently if you keep rubbing the eyes often, or many times during the lockdown. I know this for a fact that many people, they want to wear makeup because they have just not worn makeup in a long time, and they sort of feel the day isn't complete. And I know so many people who want to wear makeup even at home. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's just that we do not want you to use a heavy eye makeup, putting a thick eyeliner or these liquid based products. So what this can do is it can actually go and block these very fine openings, and then what happens is the oil which is secreted inside, it gets collected within the gland, and it becomes difficult for it to sort of get expressed out. Sometimes what happens is the pressure builds up inside, and at some point it is able to overcome the block and it releases the contents. But sometimes it can get infected, at which point you develop a pain, and this is what we call as a stye. So when there is pain, when there is swelling, especially in one particular part, when you're able to localize it, it is most definitely a stye. So in that case, we would actually recommend some local antibiotics. By local I mean something which we can apply to the eye, and of course systemic antibiotics as well. So these can really help reduce the infection of the eye, of that gland, and help in reducing the stye. So when we have a stye, I would actually recommend warm compress, keeping something warm over that. So you could use your imagination and keep something warm. You could dip a kerchief or towel in some warm water, and you can place it over the eye. And please consult an ophthalmologist close to you. Get some systemic antibiotics, local antibiotics for the eye, and you should be fine. Typically when you start an antibiotics, you need to take this for 5 days. Okay. And sometimes what happens is there is a painless condition where you just have a swelling, and people say kalkanda madri irukku, it's like a hard, non-painful lump. So this unfortunately is called a chalazion. What happens here is that there's a thick wall which sort of forms around the gland, and the contents inside are unable to come out, and the antibiotics which we prescribed is unable to penetrate. So it sort of stays there for a long time. Again, for this I would recommend warm compress. You can again try antibiotics for both systemic and application for the eye. If it doesn't work, we may have to do a small procedure. So once the lockdown was over, you could always come over and we could do this procedure for you and help drain the contents out from the inside aspect. So there is no scar, nothing would be there. So this is again another common issue that I'm seeing, especially during the lockdown, the swelling around the eye. So take home message is, do not rub your eyes, avoid a heavy eye makeup, and keep the area around the eyes clean. And I really hope this was useful for you. Have a wonderful day, and God bless.